Okay, so a phenomenon in astrology is called planets squaring the nodes. This was made a thing by Jeffrey Wolf Green, Evolutionary Astrology, and it talks about important choice points that we have in life. And we are always going to have in the transits at some point in the sky planets squaring the nodes. And this year, 2025, planets were squaring the nodes when they were passing through the sign of Gemini. That's because we have the nodes right now in Virgo, Pisces, which means the mutable signs are where all the nodal action is. And nodal action is generally what we're going to feel like is our path in life, like the path that we are actively walking right now. So, what's been happening through the first half plus of this year, I would say, is we've been very focused on the North Node in Pisces because we've had the Neptune, Saturn, conjunction happening around the North Node. And also, we've had the squares to the nodes that have been happening through the sign of Gemini, which we had during Gemini season when the sun was in Gemini, when all the inner planets passed through Gemini, as well as Jupiter passed through Gemini. And so we were getting the squares to the lunar nodes from Gemini. And each square, whether it's going to be the square from Gemini or Sagittarius, has a resolution node. And what happens is that in, let's say, Gemini season of this year, when all those planets were passing through, we felt like we had to make a choice. There was some strong pull, but the choice that we had to make resolved through Pisces. Gemini square to the nodes will resolve through the sign of Pisces. I can talk about why that is the case in another video. But resolving through Pisces means we're choosing to dissolve instead of choosing to devote, which would be the square to Virgo. But what's happening now, by the end of this year now, is that all the planets are going to come into Sagittarius very soon. In fact, we already have Mars in Sagittarius that's going to be squaring the lunar nodes by the end of this month, by the time of the Scorpio new moon, which is an incredible new moon, by the way. And we just have this option to actually go back to the past. That new moon has Mercury retrograde also basically conjunct the new moon, and so there's something we're revisiting. And Mars is about to be exactly square the lunar nodes themselves. But Mars in Sagittarius and all of the planets that are going to move through Sagittarius over the next month or so are all going to square the lunar nodes, and they're all going to resolve through the South Node in Virgo this time, which means we're choosing to devote ourselves to something very specific, to actually walk the path and actually do it, instead of doing what we did, which was dissolve it.